Hey guys, what's going on? It's me at PULS3 coming at you guys with a video today talking about some Wwe 2K17 news. You guys know that 2K just came out with a blog post here recently talking about some of the changes going forward in 2K17 compared to 2K16. If you guys want to check out that video talking about those changes, I have it in a playlist on my profile called Wwe 2K17 pre-release, and you guys can check that out on my actual CM Pulse YouTube page. It's right there on the front page. You guys can check that out and all the other videos I've made. But today, IGN decided to go a little further and talk about some of those changes because they've actually played the game. They've played 2K17, so they know of some of these changes. Now, one of the things from the blog post was about a ladder match rehaul, and they basically did it, and IGN talks about it. So IGN talks about the ladder match and how it was overhauled, and they said that they found that the ladder, setting up the ladder to get the belt and everything was a little clunky. Now, I'm not saying it's not clunky, but I think that it allowed for some funny interactions when you're playing with your friends and trying to get that ladder in place and everything. I think it was kind of a funny part of the game. But this time in 2K17 going forward, the ladder can only be set up in 5 specific locations: in front of each turnbuckle and in the center of the ring. So all you have to do is get close to one of the positions, press the right button, and the ladder gets set up properly every single time. No more setting it up and then, not having it in the right position and all that. Now, they also say you can set up a ladder as a bridge from the apron to the outside barrier, opening up a lot of new opportunities. They really didn't get to go too far into that, as they said they didn't really get the chance to do anything here, but I believe you might be able to, walk across the ladder maybe to get to the outside of the ring, or maybe power bomb throw someone through that ladder, like an OMG movement maybe, OMG moment. I guess not movement, an OMG movement. That would be less epic. But that was some of the big things with the ladder there. It got changed a lot. A little less freedom with the ladder. It didn't even cover if you can put it like anywhere on the outside of the ring, but I'm going to go ahead and make an assumption here that you can still place it, anywhere you want on the outside of the ring. It's just inside the ring where that whole new thing kicks in. Now, one of the other things they talked about here is a new system called the Rollout System, which kind of fixes multi-person matches. So when a member of a multi-person match takes a big burst of damage, maybe a finisher or something similar, they will be forced to roll out to ringside where they'll rest for a while. And depending on how badly they're hurt, they'll be stuck there until they are at least partially recovered. At that point, you have the choice: do you run back in, or do I rest until I'm fully recovered? Coming in early might be the choice if a pinfall is about to be scored, blah, blah, blah. That's pretty big stuff here, right? I mean, that completely changes the outcome of that. Completely changes the concept of multi-man matches, triple threats, fatal four-ways. Everything just changed completely there with this new rollout system. So that's some pretty big stuff. This personally sounds. This is how I look at it. So 2K is going more simulation based, okay? And while most of you know that I don't exactly agree with that, I've always been more of an arcade wrestling game fan. I like it more arcadey. Here Comes the Pain, I felt like was a good middle ground between arcade and simulation based stuff. So if it were my thing, it would be more arcadey. But if 2K is trying to go for simulation based, I feel like this new system is great for that. If they're really trying to push this simulation based game, I feel like the new rollout system and the ladder stuff is really cool. I also feel like, as the arcade fan, that this kind of takes away a lot of freedom, which you guys have seen me talk about before. I've talked about that kind of stuff before. Is that I feel like with this kind of stuff, it takes away your freedom. It feels like the match is played out already. Like you're very much shoehorned into only doing what they wanted you to do, which is putting a ladder in the corner, or putting the ladder in the center of the ring, or rolling to the outside. It's like, it feels like it's very. You don't have much freedom. Is honestly the best way that I can explain it here. You're playing the match as 2K wants you to play the match, not as you would like to play the match, if that makes sense. And it might not make sense to a couple people, but I feel like in the arcade versions of the game, you just had a lot more freedom to do, the matches played out how you wanted them to play out, Especially in games like Here Comes the Pain, where I can go backstage and get on a motorcycle and drag someone across the floor and then throw them off 18-wheeler. You know what I mean? So that's basically what I'm saying. But for the system that they're going for the simulation style, for the heavy simulation style that they're going for, I feel like all these additions are really going to help add to that, you know, and I think that's good. I think that the rollout system for the triple threat things, you know, I think will actually make triple threats a lot more fun. We don't have any gameplay of it or anything, so we'll just have to go off what we read, but it sounds pretty cool. Now, they also talked about Backstage Brawls and fighting in the crowd, so you can either play a separate Backstage Brawl match where you win by KO, which we've had before, or you can transition from any no DQ style match right into a backstage scrap. Is it going to be like the old games where you just go up to the top of the ramp and then, you know, you go? Is that how that works? We don't know. There's no gameplay yet. I mean, that's getting me excited for the gameplay. So 2K definitely has got me going here. There are 3 separate backstage areas and a bevy, interesting word, of interactive props to get nasty with. And there are even OMG moments backstage where it's backstage only OMG moments. So that's pretty cool. He didn't really get the chance to fight in the crowd, so he can't really say much about that, but nonetheless. Now, we also have something new about taunting, which they go over taunting a little bit and they kind of explain it. So now taunting in the game has an actual purpose. Some taunts grant you a temporary damage boost, while other taunts increase the rate of which you gain momentum. And now, I mean, it opens up a lot for the gameplay, honestly. I mean, taunting now actually gives you something. So now when people go out, you know, before it gave you finisher, basically. You go out, if you're playing online, you know, you play somebody, they hit you with a move, they go to the outside and they taunt for a very long time until they get their finisher up, you know. This time, it changes a little bit, gives you a temporary damage boost, gives you momentum for a little bit of time at the, you know, you gain momentum a little quicker. So that's pretty cool, you know, like there was definitely room for 2K to do something with taunts, because I felt like while they made a lot of changes to the gameplay, taunts are one that were just kind of bolted over from the old games. Now, they also did something with major reversals. Major reversals were something in the game that I didn't see a lot of people use because it just really wasn't worth it. With the reversal stocks and everything, losing 2 of your reversal stocks to do one move that barely did any damage really didn't make any sense, especially in a competitive online atmosphere. It really just made no sense at all. But this year they decided that, okay, we're going to make it a little easier to do major reversals because they were pretty hard to do in the first place. You know, it was a very small window there. But you can use a major reversal this time around, and if you do it, it locks out your opponent's ability to perform reversals of their own. So that's a pretty big deal, you know. That's a pretty game-changing thing that they've kind of introduced here. So that's going to be something. I mean, we're going to have to see how it plays out, you know. I assume it still takes 2 of your reversal stocks. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. You know, we'll see on that. But that sounds pretty game-changing. Now, we also got new changes to chain wrestling and submissions. If you guys don't like the new submission system that they have, you can switch to the button masher system because a lot of people didn't like the new system. So they gave you the opportunity so you can go back and you can hit that. All you have to do is turn it on, apparently. So you can do the button masher thing. Another thing, if you did like the new submission system that they talked about, they tuned it a little bit, so it's not so slippery. It's more precision-based turning, you know, the circle, basically. It's more precision-based than just going left to right to left to right, which is definitely something they needed to do because while submissions could be very frustrating, they could also be the easiest thing in the world. And now for the chain wrestling. Chain wrestling is no longer automatically engaged at the start of the match. It still happens if you two try to grapple each other at the same time. But, you know, in other situations, it's just, you don't have to start the match that way. It's not going to start the same way if you go up and do that, because a lot of the matches just start out with the chain wrestling system. You know, with it was just in the opening of the match. It seems like they're going to tone down on that a little bit because all the matches kind of start the same. So lots of new stuff here from IGN, guys. Lots of new stuff here. I'm interested to hear what you guys got to think about it. You guys can tell me down in the comments below. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, if you did, to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are not subscribed for more of that WWE goodness on my channel, and I will see you guys on the next video. See ya!
Impulse is the best. Yes, he is. Click the subscribe button. Yes, you know you want to. Yes, you do. Click it today.